All right, good evening everyone, and welcome to our special edition of our monthly call. Tonight is all about feeling stress-free and feeling full of sleep. So my name is Carla Thomas. I am a certified holistic counsellor in mind-body medicine. I am an NMD or executive NMD leader with the Juice Plus company, world's largest and most researched whole food nutritional supplement. I studied at Endeavour College, and that's where I got my certifications from. What else might you want to know about me? I was previously a dancer as well, and I basically travel the world in Australia and doing lots of things, from talks and creating business and health opportunities for lots and lots of people. So one of the things I like to do is a monthly call to add value to people that either follow me or work with me in different ways that you can be improving your health on a day-to-day basis. So before we kick off tonight, I just wanted to ask a couple of questions, and I would love, I'll just pin myself there. I would love some audience participation. So is anyone on here currently stressed, or have you ever experienced stress in your life? I think we should all be raising our hand. Yeah. Yes, exactly. I do, yes. All right. Is anyone currently experiencing or has ever experienced poor or disturbed sleep? Anyone had that before? Yep, brilliant. Okay, well, I think that's pretty much all of us. And, you know, you are on the right call, that's for sure. As tonight we are so fortunate and blessed to have Kat Blake joining us and going to be sharing her valuable tips and tools in not only preventing, but being able to manage, you know, stress and sleepless nights when it does come upon you. So, you know, Catherine Blake is a naturopath. She studied at Endeavour College of Natural Health, and she graduated in 2013 with a Bachelor of Health Science in Naturopathy. She's a member of the Australian Natural Therapist Association, and yes, I'm meaning to read off notes so I don't forget anything about this fabulous bio. She's currently also a studio coordinator and in-house naturopath at the Body Transformation Studio based in Myrie, and her own business is of course called Invigorate Naturopathy. Kath, feel free please in the chat section if you like to just post your website in there now, and then we'll do that at the end so that if anyone would like to contact or follow you afterwards, that they can. Kat, of course, is my very own naturopath. She's a long-term friend and associate of mine. She's somebody that I would happily refer to and recommend anyone that I feel needs her help with herbs and is out of my scope. And she's also somebody that I go to when I feel that I need a little extra, when that comes to just managing anxiety or just getting into my adrenals, etc. And she is a wealth of knowledge, and that's why I wanted to invite her on tonight's call. So before I let Kat speak for herself, we love audience and guest participation. So please feel free, Angel, you already have there, to post in the comments or the chat section anything that you would like to share, add on, any questions, and then hopefully at the end we will have some time to answer a couple of them for you. So, Kat, once again, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm sure that those on the call probably don't really know you at all or very well, and they would love to know how you fell into naturopathy and more than anything, your own health journey that got you here.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, thanks everyone for being here tonight, and thank you, Carla, for inviting me and that awesome introduction. I don't really need to say anything now. Look, stress and sleep are a big passion of mine. The reason I fell into naturopathy was I was a very stressful person. I didn't sleep enough. I was like a typical young girl wanting to be skinny, didn't eat enough protein, that sort of thing. Just was really sick and just didn't sleep. And, you know, it took my own journey to find how to treat myself. So, you know, I know what works for me. I know what works for my clients as well. And I know firsthand how, you know, poor sleep and stress can affect your quality of life. And, you know, it's not until you actually step out of that stressful environment and that life, because, you know, it's very common for us it becomes the norm for us. And we just go day by day and stressed all the time. And until we actually remove ourselves from that and get good sleep, we actually think, wow, that's totally different, and that's what life is meant to be like. So, I see lots of stressed clients. I love specialising in this because I get good results with my clients as well. But my approach to natural medicine as a naturopath is I'm a practical naturopath. So I know life is busy, and I know, sometimes our diet and our lifestyle habits aren't as good as they should be. We are human, so we shouldn't really, get ourselves in trouble for that. But, my aim is to work with the client and educate them and just make small changes in their life and things that aren't going to be too hard for them. I always say just do gradual and baby steps because, as you know, it takes, 3 weeks to form a habit at least. And that way, if, they're doing small changes, it's going to be a life-changing habit. So it's more of a lifestyle, if that. But, yeah, in terms of tonight, I just wanted to give you some free tips and advice on what you can implement tonight, tomorrow, and for the rest of your life to try and just sort of get, or deal with stress a lot better. As I said, our body is quite good at accommodating it, but we want to sort of prevent the issues coming long-term, chronic illness and things like that. And, know when we're going to be having a sleepless night and what we can do in terms of steps in the evening to try and prevent that and actually get that solid sleep that we need. Yeah, so.
Awesome. Thank you. And I think you just nailed a few key words there and about preventing, it's about, jumping on it before it, attacks you first. And, doing it in a practical way in the world that we live in, which is another reason why I love working with Kat. She's very realistic of what the everyday person's life in the modern world looks like and works around your lifestyle, not having you, too far adapt, what life is really like for you. So, Kat, let me ask you, we use the term stress a lot. Like I would say probably once a day, probably majority of people at least say once, I'm feeling stressed right now or I'm stressed, etc. What does it actually mean though, the term stress?
Yeah. It's funny, because a lot of clients I see, I ask them that same question, do you think you're stressed? And they will commonly say, no, I don't, really get struggled with stress or anything like that. But the question I ask them after that is, how busy is your mind? Do you think your mind is busy? And their reaction is, oh yeah, it never stops. So that indicates to me that yes, you are actually stressed and your mind does not stop. So in terms of what is stress, it's a natural response in our body to survive. So if a robber was to come into your house right now, your heart would start pumping, you'd get this massive surge of adrenaline, your blood would flow to your extremities, your arms and your legs, so you could fight for your life or run out of there. And that response is known as fight or flight. So some of you may have already heard of that. But in this instance, your immune system and your digestive system pretty much shut down because they're not needed for that survival. So, short term, back in the day when we were hunters and gatherers, that's fine. But people are living like this day in and day out. So their digestive system's compromised, their immune system's compromised. We've all been there before. If you've got a nervous job interview happening or, you're really stressed, you could have a nervous tummy, as they call it, or you could lose your appetite. Or there's people that are just constantly sick when they're run down, which is what I was before I studied. But yeah, basically we want to try and balance that because obviously lots of stress in your life you can't avoid, unfortunately. So we want to stop the chronic stress happening. And, I'm seeing a lot more anxiety disorders popping up, mood imbalances and things like that. So if people are having random panic attacks and things like that, there are imbalances in their body that they do need to treat and figure out what's happening in that. But, that brings me on to sleep because it goes hand in hand with stress and sleep. And why sleep is so important is, it's arguably the most important aspect of our health. During sleep, we require adequate time to remove toxic byproducts from our brain, which, is involved in preventing conditions such as dementia. And, we're seeing that on the rise at the moment as well. Our liver function is dependent on it, building and synthesizing our cells in our liver. And growth hormone production is required by sleep. So any gym junkies that are watching at the moment, you may know growth hormone. We need it to build muscle cells and also repair injured muscle cells as well. But it also is involved in our appetite. So controlling the hormones for our appetite, leptin and ghrelin. So I see a lot of clients that are stressed and they're trying to lose weight and their appetites all over the shop. A lot of FIFO workers with night shift and things like that. their appetite, just they're not hungry, or they're all of a sudden, you know, binging. So, you know, if you're not sleeping well, it affects so many parts of your life and your health at a cellular level. So that's why it's so important to try and get both of those sorted. A couple of stats for you guys as well. In 2009, there was a study, 1.2 million Australians were suffering with sleeping issues. A year later, 1.5 million, so that went up there. And now approximately 20% of Aussies are having less than 6 hours sleep. We do need 7 to 8 as a minimum. And yeah, the biggest stat that staggered me was 500,000 people are taking or relying on sleeping medication. And if anyone's ever had rest of it or something like that, it is very addictive. So it's this vicious cycle that I find people are getting into, and they're just relying on these like awful sleeping medications and just can't get off it. I see elderly clients that have been on it for 20, 25 years. So, you know, to try and get them off something that's been part of their ritual, it's quite tricky. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a worry. Those statistics are so high, and yeah, we are seeing more and more people who are having a reliance, whether that's on a pharmacy, over-the-counter level, or needing a prescription. We know very much that doctors are tending to be on a lockdown with that now. So, okay, in your opinion then, what is actually classified? So if somebody's not sure if they have a sleeping issue, how would you, how would they be able to actually say yes and put that in some sort of, column or classification?
Yeah, look, most people think that they only have, sleep insomnia if they can't get to sleep. But there's actually 4 different types. So there's sleep onset, which is the one where you can't fall asleep initially. Sleep maintenance is a very common one as well. So that's where people are falling asleep fine, but they're waking up sort of every 2 to 3 hours. There's the non-restorative sleep as well, which is the people that are sleeping sort of 7, 8 hours fine, but they're waking up like they haven't slept a wink. And there's also the waking early. So, people are falling asleep fine, they're sleeping solidly, but they're waking up 2, 3 in the morning, can't get back to sleep, and they're just getting up and doing their things in the day. And obviously that's, implementing their day and increasing fatigue and things like that. So they're the 4 types I see. What does cause sleep disturbance? There's a range of things. We've got sleep apnea, which is the physical condition where people actually mechanically stop breathing several times through the night. Environment. Obviously, anxiety is going to stop people sleeping. Pain, emotion. A fear of poor sleep is one as well. That's a vicious cycle. If you feel like you're not going to get to sleep, then you probably won't. Drugs and alcohol is an interesting one, especially alcohol. Most people think that alcohol will help them sleep. A lot of people rely on that glass of wine or something like that if they're really stressed. Initially, it helps you fall asleep, but it prevents us from getting into that deep REM sleep, which we need for our adequate rest. So if people are drinking every single night, that's obviously going to affect their quality of sleep that you need to rest. And obviously there's the other ones where it's parasomnias, so sleep talking, dreaming, grinding teeth, that sort of thing. So yeah, there's different things that can affect our sleep. So yeah.
Wow. Lots of things there that I'm sure probably don't even come to mind half the time unless someone like yourself mentions them. So you've given us a really good insight already, Kat, into what's classified as stress and sleep and what's involved. In your opinion, does nutrition play a vital role in preventing or managing stress and poor sleep? And if so, what can you recommend for those on tonight's event or call that we can be doing in terms of, nutrition and lifestyle choices?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, food is one of those things that a lot of people eat because it tastes good or they're hungry. And I find myself educating clients a lot of the time to eat for their health. So if they're coming in for their sleep, eat for sleep. If they're coming in for stress, eat for stress. Not weight loss or, trying to curb their hunger. So there are a few certain nutrients that I want to go through as well. So sorry if I rely on my notes a lot. I'm not very good with memorising everything off the top of my head. But the main one I want to talk about is protein. So a lot of people are protein deficient. Almost every client I see, they think having the 3 big meals in the day is going to be adequate, and it's just not, as you would probably know yourself, Carla, like we need protein with every single meal that we're having. L-tryptophan is the specific amino acid that is required for sleep regulation. It's actually involved in the hormones melatonin and serotonin. So serotonin is the happy hormone. Melatonin is the hormone that helps with the circadian rhythm, that helps us fall asleep at night and wake up in the morning. So that amino acid itself, if that's not adequate in your diet, that natural circadian rhythm is not going to be working at all. So as I said, protein needs to be eaten in each small meal. So if you're having 5 meals, 5 to 6 meals, that's what you should be aiming for. But not necessarily a big meal. If you have, a piece of fruit, you should be having some nuts with it, some good fats, that sort of thing. Just getting that in regularly is going to help you get to sleep at night, because your sleep treatment should start when you wake up, which sounds funny, but, giving your body that nutrients, or the nutrients it needs, the whole day to try and get to sleep at night. Also, your dinner should have the highest amount of protein that you're eating in the evening or the whole day. Don't confuse that with your heaviest meal, though, because a lot of people seem to eat a large meal at night if they're skipping meals during the day, and that's really not good for the body. Like, not only do you feel uncomfortable going to bed with a really full stomach, but it's causing the body to have a lot of digestive activity when we should be resting and going to sleep. So that's going to prevent you. I don't know if anyone's eaten too much, if they've gone out for dinner one night and they just have a really bad sleep from it. So, yeah, definitely trying to do that. Also, on the skipping meals, I see this quite often. So your body needs fuel to function. And if you're not eating regularly, you're telling your body to produce extra adrenaline. And adrenaline doesn't need food. It relies on stimulants such as coffee and sugar. So if you're sort of skipping meals and you're having that coffee, you're just like bombarding your adrenal glands to just keep secreting more adrenaline. And, if that keeps happening, you're just going to burn out. And as I said before, that stress response is meant to be an initial thing to get you into safety. If you're constantly doing this with your adrenaline, you're just going to burn out and health issues will arise. So I do see a lot of busy business owners, when they come in for their initial consults, I look at their diet and, breakfast or lunch is like, nothing, coffee. And, that's the first thing I'll say, we need to be eating some real food there. In terms of other things, we need good fats. Now, most people are deficient in good fat as well, that I see. Taking 1 or 2 fish oil capsules is not enough. We should be having, like with the protein, we should be having a bit of good fat with every meal. If you're having the fruit with the nuts, you should be having the fish oil capsule with that, or, having your avocado with your salads, that sort of thing. In terms of your nervous system, though, fat actually surrounds the nerve structure. It's called the myelin sheath. And this is for the purpose of actually insulating that nerve and helping transmit those nervous signals. So you can imagine if that's deficient, your nervous system isn't working as efficiently. And also with the good fats, you've probably heard the benefits of being anti-inflammatory. So the latest research that has come out is when we're stressed, we produce an excess of a steroid hormone called cortisol. Now, the latest research has shown if our cortisol levels are up here, our serotonin production doesn't actually occur. So what we actually need to look at is bringing that inflammation down, bringing that cortisol level down so our serotonin production can naturally increase. Because if that serotonin's not up there, you're not going to be getting to sleep at night. That whole conversion is not going to be happening to melatonin. So, definitely with your stress and your sleep, get as many anti-inflammatory foods in as possible for, range of benefits as well, but definitely with your stress and sleep. The other nutrients I wanted to talk about as well is B vitamins. They actually get depleted when you are stressed, so you need extra. In particular, B3 and B6 though. So adequate levels of these are needed for production of serotonin again. And obviously, if you're not eating enough B vitamins, so things, like your seeds, your nuts, eggs, leafy greens, that sort of thing. But research has shown actually B3 deficiency in particular has been linked with sleep deprivation and increased nerve damage, so on the cellular level in the nervous system as well. Magnesium and zinc, another 2 minerals that are very deficient in our in WA especially. It's really low in our soils. See lots of people with cramps and eye twitches and things like that. It's an indication of low magnesium. Magnesium is known as the relaxing mineral. A lot of people take it for restless legs and leg cramping at night as well. But again, cofactor for serotonin synthesis. Zinc deficiency is another one. It's used in many processes in the body, but we actually need it in modulating enzymes and proteins for nerve cell communication. So going back to the communication between the nerves and, just looking at that from a cellular structure. So those nutrients there are in the Juice Plus capsules as well, which is why I like the Juice Plus capsules. Because, like I said, the food is just not, or we're too busy pretty much. And the food is just not at the quality as it used to be, when our grandparents and things used to sit down to dinner. So I know, Carla, you've spoken about it a lot, but having that Juice Plus sort of as a backup, because you know that if you're not going to be able to get all those nutrients you need, even if we ate 100% perfectly, we wouldn't be getting the nutrients that we need. So just having that as a backup is nice security for us, I think, definitely.
Yeah, that's fantastic to know, Kat, coming from, your background and obviously using, herbs quite a bit with everything. And I know that Juice Plus is obviously something that you've been taking yourself and has been a benefit, and hence why, again, that you feel with the research too that you can 100% back it up. So I think you nailed it when you said it's about bridging the gap, and rather than having to have a whole lot of separate vitamins and minerals, finding a great source where you can get most of it there. And then, of course, you're always there to add on where I know, for example, for myself, magnesium, as you mentioned, if you're quite active and to relax. And, that's why we allow ourselves that nice square of dark chocolate at night, ladies. It's for the magnesium, we tell ourselves.
Yes, any excuse for chocolate, yep.
I tell myself I'm getting myself ready for sleep. So thank you so much for that. Kat, just one other question I have for you. In this tech age, look, it's great for its purposes. We're utilising it right now, but we are on devices so much through the day and even at night. And I know that, we shouldn't be doing it at night, right? And especially in the bed. The bedroom's the one place that we shouldn't be bringing our devices. So, what's your opinion on this? And, in any other way, are there things that we should be reducing or not doing that, in order to be able to enhance sleep and reduce stress?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, the the research has been showing us the harmful effects of our mobile phones. Like, it's just increasing over the years. Kids are gaming, we're on our mobile phones all day. Laptops, look, we're all on them now, late in the evening. So it is bad because it does emit radiation to our brain, and it causes an alertness of the brain and activates the stress response. So what I tell my clients regularly is try and aim 20 to 30 minutes before bed, tech-free. So, 60 minutes would be ideal. So what I generally say is, do what you need to do in the evening. Check your Facebook, check your emails, whatever you need to do. Go put the phone on charge, set your alarm, and then don't touch it again. If you can go and have a bath or a shower before bed, that's going to be really good, because not only with the stress response, if you're not even thinking about that, but if you see something on Facebook straight before bed, or an ex-boyfriend posting a photo or something like that that gets on you, under your skin, you're going to be thinking of that, and it's just going to cause your body, adrenaline goes up, and then that's just going to impact your stress. And with your emails, you don't want to be thinking about work straight before bed, because again, that's going to stress you out. But in terms of other things that we can do, coffee is another one I wanted to speak about as well. Now, I'm an advocate for coffee. Don't worry, I'm not going to tell you not to have your coffee. But we all know it is...
Let's cut the call off then.
Yeah, exactly. No, we all know it's a stimulant and an energy booster, but in terms of inhibiting sleep, it inhibits our adenosine activity, which is a transmitter which helps us fall asleep. Caffeine is one of those ones that actually stays in our body for quite a long period of time, and not many people are aware of that. If you have a coffee, there's approximately 12.5 milligrams of caffeine 20 hours after drinking 200 milligrams of caffeine. So if you're someone that's having that afternoon coffee to pick you up, that is going to affect your sleep at night. So, having that last coffee before 2 o'clock is really going to help, and not having one after that. If you can't give up your coffee, if you are really struggling with your sleep, I would sort of advise to gently remove it from your diet. And when I say gentle, I mean gentle. But yeah, look, if you have it for enjoyment, don't have it to wake you up. There are other things out there that you can be doing to get that sort of energy. And you don't want to be relying on that instant energy hit, because you're going to drop lower after it as well. So by all means, yes, enjoy your cup of coffee. Try and have it as early in the morning, and drink for enjoyment, as I said. Water is another one as well. Now, this is the most cost-effective, easiest thing that people can do for sleep and stress. And yeah, it's one of the biggest things I struggle with my clients, because they just say they're not drinking enough water. In terms of your sleep, though, your dehydration can actually affect the ability to detoxify our blood. Not only that, our brain is covered with the membranes that are, made up of moisture. So when you do not drink enough water, that's why you're getting the headaches, because those membranes around your brain are actually drying out. As a rule of thumb, your 8 glasses is the general guide, but that does depend on the individual, how much exercise you're doing, that sort of thing. But what I tell my clients is, if you're having a cup of coffee or tea, have an extra glass of water as well. So as you're boiling that kettle, or you're going to a cafe to buy a coffee, make sure you're having that extra glass of water. So if you're having 2 coffees a day, try and have 10 glasses of water and that sort of thing, just to get that habit in of having that extra water in. The other thing, green tea does have a bit of caffeine in it as well, and black tea. So if you are having those, remember to have that extra glass of water. And caffeine is a diuretic, so it will excrete water or excess water. So we do want to be replacing that as well. The other tip is distracting your brain. This sounds funny, but this is something that we all should be doing at least once a week. We need to do some sort of activity that sort of, we can't be thinking about 3-4 things at once. So reading's a really good one. If you're, really involved in a book, you're not going to be thinking about a text message, an email, work things, because you're going to lose your place in the book. So, sitting down for 20 minutes a week, reading that is going to help your body decrease some stress and just sort of relax your brain a little bit, get that cortisol and adrenaline down. Not everyone is a reader. So the next thing I like to suggest is having a bath or a foot soak. As you know, Carla, you've already had my lovely salts that I'm selling now.
Yes,
so these are Epsom salts enriched in essential oils. So baths are great because, especially if you've got the Epsom salts, which is full of magnesium, essential oils, which, depending on the scent, are a range of benefits. Having that bath, though, you're able to relax. Don't take your phone in, though. That's one thing I don't want you to be doing on Facebook or anything while you're in the bath. Play some relaxing music, light a candle, whatever you need to do. A bath once a week is not hard. And if people don't have a bath, I say get a bucket or a foot spa, put some, lovely oil in there and just sit there for 20 minutes. Make sure the hubby and the kids don't annoy you, so you've got some me time. But that's not hard to find. And doing something like that is just going to help you get that relaxing time, especially if you do it before bed, because you're going to get the essential oils. If you put something like lavender in the water, the lavender is going to help you relax as well, so it's going to assist sleep. The other thing, if people don't like doing either of those, the other thing is watching a good movie. Putting your phone in the other room, turning it on silent. Not because I find a lot of people are very good at multitasking. They can watch a movie, go on their phone, have the tablet there. So just engulf yourself in a good movie or a TV series as well, and don't worry about anything else. So again, that's just going to get your mind distracted off whatever else you were stressing about and just focus on what you're watching on the screen. The other thing which we all know will be exercise. So exercise is one of the proven things to reduce our stress levels. And it improves our moods as well. So research suggests the exercise is beneficial for our sleep because of the strong correlation between sleep disturbance and depression and anxiety. So the research has shown with the exercise, it can't just be a one-off thing. It has to be a regular routine. So if you're planning on going to the gym, if you have to get to sleep, that night, you're probably not going to get the greatest sleep from one workout. So yeah, by doing a regular routine, you're going to be reducing that adrenaline and that cortisol and just helping that sleep cycle happen naturally. And the best thing you could probably do is do a workout or go for a walk if you've had a really stressful day. Clear your mind. I know, you know, I've done it many times if I've had a stressful day. Just, you know, clear that mind, and you just feel like an absolute better person when you get home. You know, it's like nothing ever happened. So the other thing would be, if it's a more stressful day, you're probably better to have a more intense workout. I know if I've ever had a really stressful day and I've done a boxing circuit or something like that at the gym, yeah, all my stress is gone. So I don't know if anyone's tried to do, you know, a plank for 90 seconds and think about a stressful bill. It doesn't happen because you're doing the exercise in the moment. So yeah, just something like that to just try and get your mind off it. An hour for exercise is perfect for you because it's time for you. Get the stress levels down, and yeah, whatever works, morning and night, whatever works for you.
Awesome. Kat, you've just thrown so many amazing tools. I mean, that's why we don't really have any questions in the comment section, because you just added so much value. I mean, some of the things I just love to quickly point out again is exactly what you said. I think about the exercise. It's absolutely crucial, and doing what suits. I know that I train regularly at the Body Transformation Studio where you work, and definitely during those circuit classes you were thinking of nothing else except concentrating on what exercise you're doing. And same goes when you do your times for yoga as well. Sometimes your mind is not going to be in that place. You need that hard workout, but other times yoga is fantastic just to be in the room and not to be able to do anything else. Other tips that you've given me that have worked is I have started embracing baths again and using those salts you've given, which have been fantastic, just even half an hour. There is a glass of wine usually involved as well, but there's a and no phone. Yeah. And, you know, just the other thing, it's so interesting, my lovely neighbour Renee is on the Zoom tonight, and we've actually been talking about, you know, keeping ourselves accountable. That her thing is TV at night, and my thing is, you know, I use my phone so much for work. It's now putting it in the corner. Once I'm in bed, not even being able to see it flash. It's the other way around. So I'm just, you know, I'm in my book and that. So, you know, all these things do work, as well as some of the things that you've given me on top of taking my Juice Plus, if you just put them into place. And again, that's why, Kat, I wanted your expertise on the call tonight, because I just knew you'd be able to add value in another way, you know, with your background and your passion for stress and sleep, which really shines through. So I just want to thank you so much again for taking the time to be on here. I really are so
appreciate it.
Welcome. Now, I've just popped into the chat section. So I've gone to your Facebook page. My Firefox is doing something quite interesting where it will not leave your website up. So feel free to type it in now if you like, your website in the chat section. Is that now there in the Facebook page? Is that where people can find you if they want to read? I know that you do blogs, if they want to look at any seminars, appointments, things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you want me to put my Facebook page in there now?
I think I've already popped it in there. The Facebook page I managed, just not the website.
Yeah, look, if anyone wants to email me questions or anything like that, like I had to obviously cut down all my tips and everything to not bore you all. But yeah, look, this is something I'm really passionate about. So yeah, any questions at all, I'm happy to answer. If you want any more information on the salts as well, please feel free. The other thing I was going to suggest as well, I forgot to mention, flight mode on your phone is really good as well. If you're not expecting an emergency call, it's something that I do all the time, is switch my phone to flight mode so that you're not getting those annoying vibrating, you know, notifications when you're trying to sleep. And I also put earplugs in as well because my partner can snore. So if any of you have got husbands or partners that snore, earplugs are amazing to get that solid sleep as well, because nothing will wake you up.
Fabulous. I love that, Kat. And yeah, I always say that's one of my favorite things about actually being on a plane, is completely switching off from my phone and no overseas, etc. So sometimes I think we just need to pretend we're in another place while we're here as well, to zone out. So look, I'm aware of everyone's time, and you've thrown so much into the 40 minutes, Kat. So guys, if anyone wants to know more, you know, of what Kat can offer, see her fabulous information, we've given you the tools to go and contact her. But otherwise as well, if you want to reach through me, most of you would have found me already, either being a client through my Facebook page, and I've popped my website up there too. Kat and I do a lot of work together as well. So, you know, we want to keep adding value if you found that tonight's call was valuable in any other way. So thank you so much for coming on. The both of us really appreciate it. Kat, thank you again. This is going to be posted posted on our pages, the recording tomorrow, if you want to watch it again or share with anyone at all. And I look forward to in another month's time bringing you another edition of a wonderful call with some health and lifestyle tips for you. So thank you again, everyone. I'm going to unmute you all as I stop recording.